Hello, my name is Charlene Earl, and I'd like to talk about my research project that I'm conducting entitled Exploring Intercultural Competencies and Strategies as Influential Factors when Experiencing a Higher Education Degree in the UK for International Taught Students. My role in the University of Kent is an International Programmes Manager in the International Programmes Department in the Division of Global and Lifelong Learning. My areas of responsibility are to manage our pre-sessional and in-sessional deliveries. As well as my role, I'm also a part-time PhD student currently in my third year in the Centre for the Study of Higher Education. I'm fortunate to have two wonderful supervisors, Dr. Anthony Manning, Director and Dean of Global and Lifelong Learning, and Dr. Thomas Parkinson, who is a Senior Lecturer in the Centre for the Study of Higher Education. I'm happy to answer any questions about this research in the Q&A session in the conference, or you can contact me via email at the address on this slide. So an overview of the presentation. I'm going to present some focus areas of the research, the essential aim of the research project, the research questions, and the phases of the research project. I'll also provide a brief overview of the participants involved within this project. Also joining me in this presentation is Professor Ben Lowe and some participants who will be able to share their feedback with you. This is a longitudinal mixed method study. It incorporates both qualitative and quantitative data. So the data is compiled by literature, research, intercultural competence tests, focus groups, interviews, and reflective journals. I'm keen to gather both student and academic perspectives within this research. The participants will be international students, and they have applied and are currently studying a taught degree at the University of Kent. The primary focus of this research is to assess the development of students' intercultural competence. And to do this, I'll be using the Intercultural Development Inventory. You can find out more about this inventory in their website listed on the slide here. So, what is the outcome? The essential outcome is to help prepare international and domestic students by providing them with intercultural support both prior to and during their studies. To do this, I'm going to create a specification for an online immersion study module, and it is with the intention of it being a collaborative module so that I will invite academics from various divisions across the university and colleagues from various support departments to also provide information and support to help students interculturally during their studies. So there are three main research questions within this project, which both incorporate the perspectives of students and academics. The first research question is to investigate what are the perceptions of the target group in relation to intercultural competencies as influential factors when experiencing a taught degree. So what are their perceptions? Are they aware of what intercultural competence is or what competencies are? And do they regard them as influential factors in relation to their taught degree? The second research question focuses on what features of support do the target group need, both prior to and during their study. And then the final research question looks at what interventions could be created and introduced to provide the support and access for students during the various stages of their study. So the research project consists of 4 phases. The first phase is from January through to February 2022. And here I delivered some introduction meetings to participants to explain a little bit more about the research project and what it involved. And then the participants were invited to take their first intercultural assessment and then attend a debrief interview with me following their assessment. So the debrief interview focused on the results of their assessment and also some questions to find out some background about each and individual participant. We also then looked at their intercultural development plan and looked at creating some short-term and long-term goals. Phase 2, from February through to June, consisted of students completing their reflective journals and also attending any intercultural activities that were hosted by the university or outside of the university. Students are also encouraged to use their reflective journal flexibly as and when they wish. And phase 3 of the research project, from June to July, is where students completed their second intercultural competence test and attended a second debrief meeting with me. In this debrief meeting, we looked at the results from the second assessment and compared them with the first assessment to look to see if there had been any development in intercultural competence. From this, we then looked at the intercultural development plan and looked to see how we could further develop it for the future. And the final phase, phase 4, which will begin in August through to November, consists of focus groups with both academics and participants. And this is where a draft module specification will be presented based on the data gathered so far, and feedback from both academics and students to see if the support and the specification is what they envisage. So looking at the overview of the participants, as mentioned, there are international students who are currently studying a taught degree at the University of Kent, and the degrees are of various disciplines. There are 26 participants with 17 different nationalities among them, and 16 of the participants are female and 10 are male. And within the participants, 21 of them are postgraduate students, 3 are PhD students, and 3 undergraduate students. And here in the graph, you can see the range of nationalities within the cohort. As mentioned, I'm happy to answer any questions you may have in the Q&A session, but right now I'm going to be joined by Professor Ben Lowe, who is a Professor of Marketing and also the Associate Dean for Global Engagement and Recruitment in Kent Business School. So Ben and I have been working quite closely over the past academic year. I've been helping Ben to deliver intercultural support to postgraduate students in the business school. So here we are. Hello, Ben.
Hi, Charlene. Thanks for inviting me to come and talk about this.
Great to have you. Ben, could you tell me a little bit about your role in the Kent Business School?
Sure. So my role in Kent Business School is that I'm Associate Dean for Global Engagement and Recruitment. So in that role, I'm responsible for leading on all internationalisation activity within the school, including student recruitment activity internationally, working with our education leadership team to enhance the student experience and enhance internationalisation at home activities, and then collaborating with our partners, developing new partnerships and trying to get the word out about what we do as a school.
Fantastic. And Ben, what are your priorities with regards to internationalisation in the business school?
Internationalisation is, of course, hugely important to our school. And in trying to enhance that internationalisation activity, we have 3 key priorities. These are building a highly connected, inclusive global community, fostering and strengthening our global partnerships, and contributing to capacity building through knowledge exchange. So internationalisation is of course essential to what we do as a school, and to illustrate that, it might be a good idea to throw up a couple of statistics about how international our school is. Around about 50% of our faculty originate from 25 countries around the world, holding a non-UK passport. And over the last 3 years, even despite the pandemic, our students come from 126 different countries. So we are very, very international and want to make the most of that diversity so that students have a fantastic experience when they come here.
And in line with the outcome of this research project, do you foresee the usefulness of an intercultural competence module that students can access prior to and during their studies?
Yeah, very much so. I think, traditionally in business schools, the status quo would have been that students come from all over the world and are put in a classroom together, and despite their very different cultural backgrounds, are somehow expected to just get on with it. And so trying to take a more active approach to dealing with that diversity is really important to us, to really enhance students' employability skills, but also enhance the experience that they have when they are here by making the most of that diversity and being able to work with people from a wide range of different cultures.
Fantastic. Thank you, Ben. And now we're going to join some participants of the research project and hear about their impact this project has had on them and how they may have found it useful within their studies. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for this presentation for Innovations in Internationalisation at Home conference. So if you would like to introduce yourself, we would love to hear a little bit more about your experience within this research project. So over to you, Sohayeb.
Hi everyone, thank you Charlene for your kind invitation. My name is Sohayeb Bahaziq. I come from Saudi Arabia. I worked as a lawyer for more than 4 years and volunteer as for more than 12 years. Currently, I'm doing my master degree in international law, also Kent Law School, postgraduate RIB, and also international program student ambassador. Answering your first question, I would say that this project helped me to understand the cultures better than before. Actually, it made me make more friendships from people around the world. And few days ago, I mean, it's my first time seeing someone he or she is leaving, and she was crying because she will leave a friend. This is something never happened, and thanks for this project. Also, for my study, I believe that the differences between these cultures, it gave, I'm sorry, it gives a new dimension for the information to be shared. For the second question, ma'am, I would say that I understood, accepted, and lived with these beautiful differences. And also I understood that the differences between all these cultures, it gives a beautiful feel that we are human. Also, it improved my sociality, I guess, also the ability to make new friends. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Lorna Agwara, and I'm from Kenya in Africa. I'm currently pursuing my master's in business analytics at the University of Kent. So thank you, Charlene, for giving me this opportunity to talk about my experience during this project. So first of all, I'll say when I joined the program, I did not know what I was expecting because I didn't know anything about it. And my first ED assessment that I did, I also didn't understand what it was. But then after doing it and we had a meeting with you, you reviewed my results and you told me what it was. And that really enabled me to position myself to know where I was, like really I was with my intercultural competence. I'll say this program has really been amazing and helpful in so many ways that I did not even think of. Firstly, I have become more aware of my own culture, and that also has enabled me to identify differences and similarities of people between other cultures. And these differences have helped me to appreciate and respect people from different cultures and backgrounds, which has enabled me to communicate effectively and therefore enabling me to talk to people without disrespecting anyone or saying something that can hurt anyone. Second of all, with the reflective journal that you gave us opportunity to be writing about our experiences and everything, I think that really helped me a lot to develop my confidence and social emotional skills, which was very useful when it came to my group work in studies, because now I was able to like collaborate and communicate with people without being shy of my accent or my culture. And I was openly willing and happy to share my cultures, to tell people what's different and what's similar with them. And I think that has really helped me a lot, and I really appreciate it. Lastly, with the development plan, where you told me I was, because I understand, I thought I was adapting, but still I was in the process of accepting, and so I was leaning towards the adaptability point. And so I had to step out of my comfort zone and just put myself out there to meet as many people as possible. I did this because I wanted to understand more cultures and to really know what this adaptability was. And so doing this, I did this by attending different events from different cultures, asking questions about different cultures, and just making many friends as possible. And currently I'm doing that, and I'm still in that process of adapting, accepting everything, and just really learning about the different cultures. So thank you very much.
Hello, everyone, and hi, Charlene. Thank you for having me here. My name is Kamollak Songtrakul, and I am currently doing MSc International Business and Management. I'm from Thailand. this research has really helped me improve my intercultural competence. Initially, I would like to mention the IDP assessment. I never actually heard of the tools before. So when you gave me the assessment and I did it, I don't know what's going to happen. But in fact, the assessment is really useful and it completely explained what I was having in my mind. Like, I used to be thinking that I am quite resilient to cultural differences, but in fact, I am only in the middle of the way of developing myself. So the assessment explained that I need to embrace my culture more so I can learn to understand other people's culture. This research also encouraged me to participate in a lot of intercultural events, encouraged me to meet new people and break my wall to get to know people from other cultural difference that I might be still afraid of to interact with. And then after I have involved with all of these activities, I have met a lot of new people and a lot of new friends. I made a lot of friends from this project as well, and from all of the activities I signed up to. And it also helped me with my communication skills with my course mates who all came from different cultural background. I learned to be a better listener. I learned to think more, reflect more on how people act and how people express themselves and not to prejudge them before understanding their culture. I also attend one of the cultural workshop and it taught me that culture is something pretty complex and you can't judge it from the cover. You need to dig deeper under the iceberg to understand what people actually come from. And to illustrate, it was like cultural differences is like water and oil. It would never blend. So if you are about to approach a different culture, you need to think like them. You can't see it from your culture. And it taught me to keep my heart and my mind open. And lastly, I would love to thank you, Charlene, for giving me this opportunity, and I'll keep developing myself. And I would always recommend everyone to keep developing your intercultural competence. Thank you.
Well, thank you to the three of you for your wonderful comments. It's amazing to hear how much you have gained from this research project and how much you have grown yourselves individually and developed your intercultural competence. It's also very warming to hear how you hold very dearly intercultural competence and your enthusiasm to want to continue developing in. Thank you so much for being part of the project and thank you for sharing your feedback with me today.